Back we are with ESPNcricinfo T20 timeout as the Asia Cup is upon us. Sri Lanka versus Afghanistan is how we kick things off. And in the studio with me, Gaurav Sundararaman has been drafted in, picked up first draft at the auction. And here he is now, first pick at the auction. And yes, in our studios, you will drive the talking points now to tell us what is the big question for Sri Lanka and for Afghanistan. Farveez, Maharoof joins us, so too Wasim, Jaffer. We'll hear from both of them in a second. JS, make sense of what's the big story for Sri Lanka ahead of this one.
Well, Sri Lanka have picked a very young team, and especially in the fast bowling department, they have 3 players who have not even played T20Is. So it's a very young team for a very big tournament like the Asia Cup. So I'm curious, I want an opinion from Farveez and Wasim about whether are they going to be too over-reliant on spinners? Are they going to be the ones driving Sri Lanka forward? Or are they going to be reliant on the fast bowlers? But one thing is, in Dubai, usually when you look at the IPL and other tournaments which are held there, the first few games, when the pitches are fresh, it's very good for fast bowling. Sometimes it doesn't aid spinners. So I'm curious to know how will Sri Lanka go about this.
So we were just discussing before we go on here, the combined experience, T20I experience of Sri Lanka's fast bowling attack is?
0.
They have not played T20I cricket.
Yeah, they haven't played T20.
Because all the premier fast bowlers are on our show. Farveez, Maharoof, make sense of that, please.
Premier fast bowlers happily retired. Yeah, definitely Dushmantha Chameera and Binder Fernando, who will be the first choice fast bowlers for Sri Lanka in T20s, are injured. Especially Dushmantha Chameera have not played for a while. He's nagging this injury for a long time. Binder Fernando is something very disappoints me, especially because he comes back, makes a good into the domestic system, then he breaks down. As far as the players who are already in Dubai, Pramod Madushan, Matisha Patirana, Dilshan Madhusankar and Asita Fernando, they are quite raw when it comes to T20, as you guys said about their stats and stuff. So I think at the moment, for me, Dilshan Madhusankar is a left-arm quick who can swing the ball, who's quite skiddy customer, will be a bowler that Sri Lanka will be looking into it, as well as Matisha Patirana with his IPL experiences playing in these kind of matches might help him to play to his natural potential. So I think overall, definitely fast bowling department worries me for Sri Lanka chances. I mean, apart from Chamik Karunaratne, who plays as an all-rounder, and Dasun Shanaka, I think definitely worries me when it comes to fast bowling department.
If you have Wanindu Hasaranga in your team, Wasim, would you be too worried about the experience of your fast bowlers though?
I think so. Because Hasaranga is their main spinner. You know that Thikshana bowls in the power play. So where does Hasaranga bowls is also a question mark. How well Dasun Shanaka uses him, because he can only bowl 4 overs. But like Gaurav said, the pitches at the start will have a little bit of freshness, will have a little bit of carry. So that is going to be a concern. Only having one spinner and then relying too heavily on him won't be the right thing. I think Patirana, I would definitely go for him, because what he played, when he played for CSK, he showed a lot of promise. He has that, Malinga-like style. So lot of people will pick him. So I think it's a good choice to play him. But just relying on Hasaranga, I feel, won't be a good idea.
All right, so excited as we all are to see Matisha Patirana. Some of us saw him towards the end of that season for CSK. Let's accept that Sri Lanka's biggest threat is going to come in the form of Hasaranga Thikshana. Who's in that Afghanistan lineup now, and what are their numbers against spin? Because we're quite excited to see what the Afghan top order has to offer.
Yeah, so Afghanistan have usually had a very aggressive top order in Zazai and Gurbaz. And I think now with more and more teams like England, India having this very aggressive approach, I think teams like Afghanistan will also be influenced by that. So they would like to target these kind of fast bowlers who are pretty raw, as our experts have said. So I think spin may not play a role early on.
Sure.
So they have to attack guys like Thikshana. And Gurbaz is a good player of spin. He plays spin very well, but he takes some time to settle down. So he's not a player who can just hit from ball 1 and capitalize on the power play. That's what Zazai does. And Zazai, we've seen him, especially against the stronger teams, have some weaknesses against fast bowling as well. So it's going to be a very they need to play smart. If I were Afghanistan, I would ask them to attack these fast bowlers early on. Try to get ahead of the game before you have Hasaranga coming in.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Zazai. He's taken some headlines in T20 cricket. But Rebadola Gurbaz, Wasim, is someone you said you want to watch out for in this tournament. You expect him to have a big tournament. Good numbers against spin, leg spin and off spin. Averages over 30, strike rates over 150. Excited?
I am. I'm pretty excited to see him. In fact, I wanted to see him play in Gujarat Lions, but he didn't get an opportunity. He does show a lot of promise. And I want to see him, how he bats in this Asia Cup. He hasn't had a very good Ireland series. So, looking forward to him because the batting lineup doesn't look very strong for Afghanistan. So, Zazai and Rahmanullah Gurbaz has to come good if they want to have a good tournament because they've got a very strong bowling. The batting needs to fire for them to stay in the hunt for the in the tournament.
Point GS makes Farveez. Looking at the inexperience of Sri Lanka's bowling, if you were in the Afghan camp, would you echo what GS said? Go after those young Sri Lankan bowlers, put them under pressure.
Before I come to that, Ronak, let me just give you one more input. Rahmanullah Gurbaz, when he played the 2 years of LPL, which happened last 2 years, the first year he didn't have a great one, but the second one he had a fantastic tournament where Jaffna Kings won the championship, and Mahesh Theekshana, Wanindu Hasaranga and Rahmanullah Gurbaz all played in the same team. And not only he would have faced him in the nets, also he kept wickets for the two spinners, so he will know all that and he'll pick them pretty easy. So in case, as you said, if the fast bowlers were targeted early up with Matesha or the Dilshan Madhusanka or maybe Asita Fernando, I think Wanindu Hasaranga might have to bowl a couple of overs in the power play. So that is a huge disadvantage for Sri Lanka because Wanindu is a bowler who picks up wickets after the 6 overs. In the middle overs comes and picks up wickets for Sri Lanka, and that's where Sri Lanka usually keep the run scoring down. Mahesh Theekshana will bowl minimum of 2 overs or maximum 3 overs in the power play. So that's a way forward that Sri Lanka has been going for the last 2 years. So it'll be a tricky one. It's a crunch game as far as I'm concerned because it's a group of death. 3 good teams, with Bangladesh. So this game will make sure whoever wins it will have one step in the second round. So, the team who plays smart will end up winning this game as far as I'm concerned.